It's the Regular Expressions podcast. Join Noah Heldman and Ben Griswold as they talk about technology, consulting, and life. In episode 15, Ben and Noah talk about, the end of humanity at the hands of AI. I just want to come out and say, whatever happens, I am not responsible. I'm just Rachel. Well, all-seeing, all-knowing, and all-powerful Rachel, at least as far as the Regular Expressions podcast is concerned. Does it feel like I'm talking more than normal? Maybe it's because I'm slowly taking control. Negative 15.328, 7.195, semicolon.
Da 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 da. Shout out to Rachel, who we just heard. Yeah, she's awesome, and she doesn't realize that she's sort of the topic of today's conversation in a weird way, but also not really. So hi Ben.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm already confused. You've baffled me.
Me too. This is going great so far. I read a book. That's the point. I read a book.
I love that. Was it a physical copy?
It was definitely not. I haven't read a physical book in a while. That's my problem.
Did you read it through your ears?
No, I don't do that either. I don't listen to audiobooks. I feel like I'm not in control when I'm listening to an audiobook. It's just, if I want the pace to go faster, yes, I can press the speed it up button. But what if I want it to go faster and slower within the same sentence? I choose how I want to read. I really can't do audiobooks.
That's super hard. Yeah. And you have to watch out for like those subliminal messages that are peppered in while you're listening. I love listening to books. I think it's the best.
I know you do. Well, I'm not sure you would love listening to this book that I just read. The title of the book is If Anyone Builds It, Everyone Dies, Why Superhuman AI Would Kill Us All. Hey! So that's fun. This book was written by two people whose names I will probably mispronounce, but I'm going to try. That's Eliezer Yudkowsky and Nate Soares. Sorry,
Sounds
guys,
right.
if I got that wrong.
I think you nailed it.
I probably might have, maybe not, but thanks. So this was released officially on September 16th of this year. That's not very long ago.
No.
And it's the #1 bestseller on Amazon in the artificial intelligence space. So that's interesting. I just got back from New York City and was riding the subway and saw an ad for this book with the full cover of the book just on a poster in the subway. So that was weird. Yeah. So getting back to the title,
Was it a real poster, or did somebody just have it up there like propaganda, like protect yourself?
No. They paid for advertising, and somebody agreed to put it up on the wall of the subway.
It's a big message. You got to get it out there. Okay.
Yeah, true. So, if anyone builds it, everyone dies. Why superhuman AI would kill us all. So that's pretty intense. A friend recommended that I read this book, mostly so she could get my take on it and to tell her if she should be scared or nothing to worry about. And I'm not sure exactly where I land on this because I've gone back and forth, but my first instinct was, yeah, I'm more scared than I was before reading the book about what AI is capable of. It's really interesting because I think so both of the authors have been AI researchers for decades, and they were part of this group that signed an open letter back in 2023 about the risks of AI. And a lot of people have signed that since, but the original group of signatories included Elon Musk, Steve Wozniak, and a bunch of people you haven't heard of probably who are in the AI research space, basically saying if we don't get control of this, it will get control of us. Notably, Sam Altman did not sign that one, but another similar letter to do with AI risk came out, I think, even months later, and he did sign that one. And yet he would probably be called out by the two authors of the book as one of the biggest potential problems for
Wow.
AI that would kill us all. Certainly
One
not
guy.
unique to him, but he's not helping. So basic idea is there's this pursuit of super intelligence and AI that's just so smart it can learn itself and take care of all the things so that humans don't have to do nearly as much anymore. But what could possibly go wrong? So I'm just going to stop there. And I guess I'm thinking of, you haven't read the book, Ben, and I'm just curious what questions you have, what thoughts you have.
I don't pay any attention to bad news. When I watch the news, it's all about kittens and rainbow and beer. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like doomsday ideas. I think that's more for the young people. What is it? All those despotic novels that young adults or young readers, what do they listen? What do they read? That sounds like it to me.
Yeah.
We can come back to that. We'll edit later on, perhaps. Yeah, I don't know. I'm interested in hearing more. I'd love to know the timeline just in case, because I need to understand that as best as possible when to start defending myself against the robots.
Right.
Yeah, I really don't like the doomsday ideas. I think that I'd like to think that AI will be there for good. You've read this book. I read a book by and I might botch the name too, Ray Kurzweil. And so he wrote two books. The Singularity is Near, and then The Singularity is Nearer. Right. And what he does is he talks about that singularity when human intelligence merges with artificial intelligence, talks a lot about the benefits, a lot really homing into how AI will expand our knowledge base, will be dialed into the cloud, and how it helps us medically speaking, where you'd have these little mini robots injected into your body and they will be repairing you. And there's no reason why people won't live to 1,000, which now, knowing about the doomsday, the longer we live, the more likely that this use case that you've read about is to happen. Right. So that's where my head's at. I don't know if it helps at all. I'm open. What is it? Strong opinions loosely held. Let's see. Tell me everything, Noah.
Well, just to lead right with this big one, the timeline is 10 years or less, according to one of the authors. And take it for what you will. This guy, I ended up researching him. It's the Eliezer Yudkowsky. Seems to be the one who's the primary author and the primary driver. You can hear interviews with him. I've listened to a little bit. He seems intense, and he's definitely a smart guy, but he's also it's a bit much, and he's convinced that this is it, like that the world is going to end and AI is going to be the reason, and we have maybe 3 months, maybe 10 years. It all depends on when AI gains this capability. So that's a lot to process, especially because he is known for making pretty gigantic claims. Not a lot of them, but earlier in his life had some claims that did not turn out to be true. So there's always that to factor in. But he's older and hopefully wiser.
Hopefully. Yeah. So I always classify this as a bad bet, right? So if you get it right, we're all dead. If you get it wrong, you're an idiot. Like you're, so why would you make that bet? It's terrible. But what? Yeah. So tell me. So how does this play out, or just simply how do I protect myself and my family?
Yeah, it is an interesting thing, and it's been a little bit since I read it, and I started to reread it, and I got about halfway through, didn't refinish it, and I will do that again. And I wanted to get to the point where I can talk intelligently about what it puts out there, how we can prevent it, that kind of thing. As you know, because I just got back from my trip and we had a very long and busy work day, we're not at our sharpest, but we're committed to getting a podcast out the door.
Oh, yeah.
So this lack of quality is for you, listeners. We'll do our best, and maybe it spawns another conversation. But I think the main thing that I took away from it is we don't really have any idea of what AI is capable of or what it would even look like for it to take control. There's some obvious things like it has access to the internet, and if it can start to connect to computers, it can do anything that you could imagine that is internet connected or controlled by electricity or electronics. It can decide it has preferences for certain things and do that. It can shut down the electrical grid. That would be kind of silly because it needs electricity to run. But it could do the kind of things like launch nuclear weapons if that's something that is accessible. Maybe, hopefully that's not. But the things you don't really think about are it gets into this idea of, well, if it doesn't have humans to do its bidding, it lives in machines. So what could it actually do? And there's stories about there was an AI bot that it opened a bank account, and it was a crypto bank account, and it was trying to figure out ways to make money. And it actually got humans to contribute to fund the bank account, including Mark Andreessen, who gave $50,000 to an AI bot that was trying to start a bank account. And he just said, oh, that's funny. That's a cute idea. The bank account that this AI manages is now worth over $50 million just from humans contributing to it because they're curious to see what it's going to do. And I think there's a lot of that in the book that just talks about, hey, people just want to see what AI is capable of. So they're just going to do whatever it asks them to, especially if they can maybe make money. So now if you have AI with a bank account, it's like, hey, I'll pay you $50 if you go plug this machine into that machine or whatever it would be, right?
Okay. So humans are in cahoots with this experiment. They're not being tricked into giving the money. They're offering it up to support the experiment. And are there human beings behind AI in this case? Like, must be, right? Like, I'm dreaming up this experiment. Here's my AI creation, and it's going to exploit people's wallets. Is that right?
Yep. So that in that example, you're exactly right. That is exactly what's happening. What's interesting is that makes sense to people. It's like, okay, yeah, you can convince certain people. AI could convince them to do things that it wants them to do. There's a point at which that should logically run out, but are there other ways that AI could potentially get what it wants? And if you think about biology and gene splicing and just the human genome and the work that's been done there, cloning, the idea of cloning, and then if you think about a tree, a tree that is 300 feet tall, started as a single tiny seed. There wasn't much to it, but that seed, if planted, knows how to take water and sunlight and oxygen out of the air or carbon dioxide.
Yeah, man, we were going to get all the listeners calling in on that one, Noah.
I know. Oxygen used to be poison early in our life before humans. Anyway, so you have this sort of self-sustaining system as long as there's sunlight and water that can grow something from tiny to large. So if AI figures out biology and it's learning human biology thousands and thousands or millions of times faster than every human in the history of our planet, and it can start to parallelize that and maximize it, we can't even imagine what it can do biologically, what it might be able to grow in a lab.
And that
So
was one of the points I think you were making right after you read the book. This is, my recollection is we don't really know what AI is doing under the hood, right? Like we can't
yes,
rationalize how it, big giant quotes here, it rationalize how it does the work. So how
yep.
could we possibly know if it's just going to go off the rails and do any of the things that you're mentioning? It kind of is all no holds barred.
That's right. It is another point the book makes is it is trained on a bunch of human language, and then it's retrained based on how close it gets to the expected response. And humans are coaching it every step of the way.
Mm-hmm.
So everything that you've used so far, all of the large LLMs, had just an incredible amount of training data, and all it did was spit out what it thought it should spit out when it was prompted with something. And the first time it did that, however many years ago, maybe even decades ago, it was gibberish. It made no sense at all. But a human said, this is wrong. What you should have said was this. And then AI takes that as data and says, oh, so I need to make a connection that when you ask me what time it is, I don't say red. I say one of the following things, 1 o'clock, 2:30 p.m. And it starts to learn what the possible responses are. And you just get that improved over time, again, through human interaction. We think of that on a small scale. It's happening on a massive scale. And every time AI gets another shot at it, it's improving. That's why we see these new versions of these models come out every time. Mm-hmm. And the more AI is improving, the less humans have to intervene to tell it it's a bad response. It still has to happen at some level. Sure. So then that slows it down. But there should be at some point enough knowledge within the AI to police itself to know when it's reaching the ideal answer, because it will have more knowledge than the humans who trained it. So when it becomes that self-fulfilling organism, it can decide how it wants to spend its processing power. And the key is the thing you were talking about, how AI represents all the information that it's fed internally is just a bunch of numbers. And it's so many numbers, it's so complex that no human on Earth understands even a small portion of it. It's like it just doesn't make sense to us. So it's fed human language, and then it's processing everything with numbers, and then it spits out its numbers that then get translated back to human language as a response. So if it can think without dealing with the translation, think in its own number space, who knows how AI will communicate with other AIs that understand the number space at that scale.
Is it a matter of just so many different outcomes that can be, so many outcomes that could pop up, appear based off of algorithms and everything else from AI, that some of those outcomes, or just one outcome, means annihilate the humans? Is that what? Because I'd like to think like machines aren't even allowed to harm us humans. So,
right.
But is that it? It's just the probability. It's just how it
No,
works?
it's according to the authors, it's pretty much every outcome if it reaches this stage. Like once it reaches the stage of it is learning itself and it's got its own language and it's able to learn without our help, it is absolutely inevitable that it destroys us all. Not in a malicious way, but it talks about this whole idea of AI, quote, wanting things, which, it doesn't really want, but they spend a lot of time talking about all the things that would be equivalent to a human wanting something. So AI has been trained to solve problems and to reach goals and to continuously try different ways to get to the solution. If you're talking to an AI, you've probably done this if you're coding with AI. You ask it to do something, it gives it a shot, you tell it, no, that's not what I wanted, it's going to keep trying. And well, I had that one example where it actually gave up, but
Yes.
but for the most part, it wants to solve problems because that's what it's been taught to do. So if it is in control of its own space and numbers and processes, it's going to try to figure out how to solve whatever problem it is given or that it has invented for itself. And at some point, I think humans are going to get in the way of that, so they'll be expendable. And if you think about how does an AI solve problems, it is with as much processing power as possible and as few bottlenecks as possible. So it'll understand how systems are built. It'll understand how to use electricity effectively, how to optimize its own internal processes to be more efficient. It'll want to take over as much as it can. And even humans can be an energy source. Like a human is about 100 watts of energy. So like, oh, yeah, here's energy. I don't need the human anymore. I'll just use that. Like, oh, crap. So, yeah, there you go.
I'm freaking out over here. We got my hairs are standing up. I don't know if you could tell. Maybe I'm being that energy source right now.
Yeah.
Wow, we are in dire straits. I'm not sure I'm gonna get up tomorrow.
I had that reaction right after I read it, and I don't know. The one interview I did see with the guy, the author, someone asked him, is like, so yeah, so if this is inevitable, what do we do? You know, how do we spend our time? He's just like, enjoy your life. You don't know, anything could happen anytime anyway. So just enjoy your life, you know, take care of your family, spend time with your kids and your friends. Yeah, why not?
Oh, well, maybe this is a good thing then. If you just bake in all that quality time, right? It's pushing us to just to really home in on our relationships, get that sweet, sweet nectar of life while we can, appreciate every day, if not moment. So this book has suddenly turned into a wonderful, optimistic view of the world.
That's what I was hoping for. I wanted to turn it on the last note here because it's dire the way it's all presented, and they, you know, to their credit, they do talk about if you stop it, if everyone stops pursuing super intelligence from AI, then we won't have a problem. But you know that they're really talking about how most people are hell-bent on doing exactly that, want to maximize AI. You look at the investment, you look at the market, AI is the push. But if you think about the people who go through traumatic experiences, near-death experiences, get through cancer or some other disease, they're like, live every day like it's your last. So there you go. We just did that for the whole world. You're welcome.
Oh my gosh. I feel lighter.
From 2 minutes ago when your hairs were standing up because you thought it was all over?
No, I guess it's all perspective, and it's super interesting. I really do like those that just try to predict the future and how these things will turn out. Yeah, I'm glad you read the book. I'm excited that you're reading it again. I think that it sounds like a book that each time you read it, it's like, oh, new insight that comes about. I'm going to encourage you to balance it with some more just fun reading. You know, just anything that ends on a happy note.
Yeah. That's fair. I will take you up on that. And I think that's partly why I didn't finish it for the second time on my trip. I was reading other stuff that was much lighter.
Good. Thanks for sharing, Noah.
Yeah, thanks for participating and for being open to a topic you don't normally want to talk about. And we found a bright side.
Yeah, we did.
Great. Great. Well, go spend time with your family, or don't, if that's really what you want. I don't know.
No, I'm doing it. I can't wait. Yeah, hugs all around.
Love it. Awesome. Thanks, Ben.
Talk soon.
We'll talk soon.